Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Thursday, May 1st. Good morning, Emil.
Good morning.
And good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. We have made it to May. It's going to be May today.
We made it.
Yes, it is May 1st. So Thursday, May 1st, known as May Day or International Workers' Day. The fact that, it's International Workers' Day is AKA May Day is kind of concerning, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, first day of the month. We're a couple days away from Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah.
We got lots of different festivities and vacation time all coming up, I'm sure, as we get ready for what should be a scorching summer, So how you feeling this week here, Emil?
Oh, pretty horrible. I got a migraine, but I'm going to just power through it, I'm
going to talk smooth and soft and sexy this morning for you, for the ladies, for a couple dudes out there too. So, we're going to have a good time. We got tickets to give away for Disturbed. That's going to be happening in the 7 o'clock hour, so right around the corner. I'm not going to make you jump through hoops for that one. I'll explain exactly how easy it is to attempt to win those tickets this morning, right around 7 o'clock. And you've been following up on the Borderlands debacle, right?
Yeah, man. It's kind of a mess. A lot of unhappy people.
Yeah, for those of you who don't recall what we're talking about, last week it was announced that Borderlands Brewing made the announcement on their social media that they were getting kicked out of their home of over 10 years, where they were able to build a, not only a thriving business, but a community in a downtown area off a tool. And they were informed that the city gave no option, but they were booting them out and were instead putting in a Live Nation comedy venue in that very same building, which of course was a head scratcher to most, because you look around downtown, you think there's plenty of buildings and space. Why go after a business that has proven to be a valuable part of that community and area?
Right.
Not only has Borderlands been able to successfully thrive as a brewery in downtown Tucson, they put on plenty of different events, participated in plenty of different events. Every time we do the Tucson Foodie Craft Beer Crawl, Borderlands is like the hub. It's one of the meccas. It's got the beautiful patio there. And, there's been a lot of great times had and events had at that very location.
Yeah.
And there's some fallout, right?
Yeah. So, I think it was like the day after we had talked about this and all that news came out, the Rio Nuevo district was forced to close its office, send employees home. They were getting a lot of steady stream of threats over the news, and a lot of mad people online. I know a lot of people are kind of ticked off about like the property owners, and I don't know if I'm going to mention them, but there's like pages, like social media pages, like dedicated to this stuff too.
Yeah, and the fact that they didn't have the foresight to see this coming is kind of surprising. Like, guys, why don't you think you would not be vilified in this scenario? Because what you're doing is villainous, and you can't say, okay, we, as far as local, Tucson is a very community based city, right? We support local, we support those around us, and kind of like shriek or shun away big corporate chains. We'll end up patronizing if it's unavoidable, but at the end of the day, we don't celebrate them. And
not at
Live
all.
Nation has been in the conversation a lot, and not well perceived based off of their monopoly of an industry and everything else that's been going on with them. And in fact, actually, they've been, it makes it difficult to have any shows here in Tucson because until Live Nation owns venues down here, then the non-competes all go to Phoenix, right? And we've talked about this on the air before too. Now, again, it just doesn't make sense, because you have a situation where you could just say, hey, there's a beautiful building here. This is historic. This will look very cool in an area where we need foot traffic.
Yeah. Because
there's plenty of areas downtown for that. And they decided not to do that and go after not only just a company, but a company that has a community around them, so.
And there's a couple of them. So I'm going to say that this is not the only time they've done this. Chicago Music Store downtown, owned by the same property owners, and now that's gone. We got a Starbucks there now, and it's just like, it's in that same vein of like, well, we have so many open spaces. I was just downtown the other day. I do some merch for Rialto every now and then. I'm like, wow, bam, 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 empty building, right there, foot traffic right there. Why can't they just move these places right there? Right. Instead of, you're talking about local instead of like a big chain. why not just do this instead of make a lot of people mad?
Right. I will play devil's advocate for the Chicago Music Store, though. I feel like that just didn't have enough foot traffic and business to stay in business, right?
Totally. No,
Yeah.
it's a music store. You hope that there's a lot of people going in buying instruments every year, and it's just like, how many times can they sell something to stay afloat? It's like, on that sense, a rent issue, of course, because rent downtown is very expensive. Chicago Music Store has been there forever. The entirety that I've been in Tucson, and it's just kind of one of those things that make you feel sad that you see that it's gone and that it's been replaced by a big chain.
Right. And, but you're right, though. Like, I think that a comedy club of that stature on Congress would be far better than, putting it on Tool, because even Borderlands Brewing is kind of tucked away, hidden, and right next to the train track.
That's the thing, a train track, right?
I know, dude. So, what's going to happen. And let's fast forward into the future. All right. I'll put on my Beastradamus hat. And you got, now this club's set to hold 200 to 300 people. So you're not going to get like Bill Burr level quality comedians.
Well, they're saying that they want to, and they already said that they're expecting up to $10 million revenue. They're trying to get acts like Dave Chappelle in there. That was from them. I know, right? And they're like, well, we want to bring people to Tucson. We want to keep people in Tucson, like they're focusing on the students.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just like Dave Chappelle's not going to play there and sit there and pause for a second while a train goes by that takes like 10 minutes. That's not happening.
Yeah. And I mean, this would just go to show like the power they have if they were to get a Dave Chappelle in that building, because Dave Chappelle is a 7-figure act and you can't make 7 figures with 300 people.
No,
you know what I mean? From Tucson, you know what I mean? Yeah. I want the Beatles to play KFMA Day on the moon. So I think both of those seem just as likely. But yeah, so the story's developing. It's weird. Of course, I'm sure if you feel outraged about this and you want to support your community, there's plenty of social media pages where you could probably sign a petition.
There is a change.org petition.
Yeah, of course there is. How many signatures are on that right now?
Let me see what it is right now. You can continue on and I'll update you.
Yeah, well, about to start playing some music. Got some Morning Moron coming up.
3,271.
All right. Hey, that's not bad though.
It's better than nothing,
Yeah. Well, there you have it. So we'll keep you updated as the Borderlands debacle continues to evolve. But we have a great show to look forward to. Got your Morning Moron coming up after Music for Nothing More. Kicking things off with The Offspring on Rock 102.1 KFMA. It's Beef Vegan Presents. But you know the name of the show. Let's go. Oh, it's good timing on that because we're about to get on the air, reset the table. Got Chef Logan back in studio this year. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. That was Pop Evil with What Remains. And, we are just weeks away from Meet the Chef on May 18th and in studio yet again, coming for that crown. We got Chef Logan from Pin and Flower. Welcome back, Chef.
Nice to be back. Thank you.
Yeah. Now we were talking about the whole Meet the Chef last year, going in with the approach, because that was your first Meet the Chef experience.
Yep, it was first time around.
Yeah. And so the game plan that you went in, you had these delicious like pork belly tacos. Yeah. You basically made meals for 500 people. And then you look over at like Chef Anthony, who literally had a sample size bite. You're like, damn, that looks easy.
Rethinking your game plan.
Completely.
Yeah. Chef Logan was in the weeds all night, just, delivering deliciousness, trying to pitch at what he's doing in the restaurant at the same time, running himself ragged. And literally Anthony didn't even bust a sweat, right? So, we're going to be talking about the game plan going into this year's Meet the Chef, how that might change everything that you got going on in Pin and Flower. But first, I see a brown bag. What do you got in that brown bag, dude?
Well, today I brought us in a lemon tart with blackberry compote, candied lime slice, and a French macaroon that we do in-house.
Yes, I love that. So now Emil was asking me about Pin and Flower, and Pin and Flower is located in
the Eddie Hotel.
The Eddie Hotel.
Located inside the lobby, yep.
Yeah, so it's right there, basically at the tip of Campbell, Campbell and River. Yep. And with Pin and Flower, you do so many things that are just from scratch, right?
Yep. I mean, there's our bread that we do, all of our sauces, a lot of mango salmon, chimichurri, the mole sauce that I steered clear of for about 10 years because I showered myself in it at Casino del Sol at one competition, but I brought it back, and yes, it's messy.
So that's what it was. You got traumatized by mole sauce where you're just like, never again?
Yeah, I was doing a salsa competition, and I was walking through the parking lot on a, blistering June day with 12 quarts of mole, and my right hand slipped out, and it hit the blacktop and doused myself. My white coat was then brown.
Yeah.
So I, went back to go shower up, pick up some more mole, and make it back just in the nick of time. So due to that traumatizing experience.
Yeah,
I did not
from
make
that.
mole for a long time.
You're
So-
just like, well, so you blame the mole. You're
Yeah.
like, F you, mole.
yeah, you're not coming after me again.
Imagine the people in the parking lot seeing that big splat on the ground, just being like, "What happened here? Oh my gosh,
Somebody died."
Yeah.
And everyone knows they're looking up at the hotel rooms, be like, I thought they don't let those windows open up all the way. You know? But yeah, so after 10 years, that is funny. I remember, this probably has nothing to do, but I worked at Dunkin' Donuts when I was a kid, right?
Mhm.
But like it felt like the donuts were seeping into my pores. So after I was done working there, I couldn't even look at a donut for like 10 years. But did it seep into your pores where you felt sick at the thought of mole?
Yeah,
Or it was just a personal
I didn't do
thing?
it for both.
Yeah.
I smelled like mole. I can't go on a date for like 3 weeks. This is brown stuff coming out of my pores.
That's true. That works. Right. So, all right, let me see what you got in that brown bag. So
All right,
you
I'm
bake
gonna
this
pass
in
this
house.
over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's show this off on the podcast broadcast. So if you're a foodie, you enjoy delicious looking meals. Now, of course, with the homemade bread that they make at Pin and Flour, that's one of those kind of like benchmarks where they get that right when they sit at the table, right?
Yep,
Or you order it.
Nope. It's
Okay.
just complimentary from our roots to yours. Thanks for being our guest.
There's a macaroon in here too. Do you make the macaroon in house?
Yep.
Oh, look at you
fun,
flexing,
man.
dude. You are flexing for sure. Yeah.
I like to stay strong on the dessert game for sure. A lot of people kind of veer away from it, but I once you got it under your belt and you memorize the formulas,
right?
That's the thing,
it's
man.
pretty easy. Yeah, recipes all day long, but formulas is where it's at. So,
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about the game plan going into Meet the Chefs on May 18th, which you guys can get tickets for at kfma.com. So, like again, last year it was a great setup for all the participants, like all the people who came out to enjoy the food.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Pin and Flour was one of the favorite tables there for sure because they got more bang for their buck. You came out there, you got fed. And you fed people well, right? With those pork belly tacos, and they were fantastic. But with that, you realized in hindsight that maybe it's not the best strategy because of the amount of work that you had to put in for that. This year, how are you approaching the competition without revealing what your sample dish is going to be to make it easy on yourself and give yourself the best chance to move on to the Iron Chef finale?
I've given myself some reps and some nice practice with specials that I've done over the course of the first half of this year. So I've taken, some of the nuances and the finer finesse points in the menu items that I'm gearing towards summertime and using that kind of as a test run and a foresight of what people kind of expect when they come up and visit us at the Pin and Flour. So colors is one. Flavor profiles is one, and the way that I'm going to be setting them up. I have more of a team with me this year. We're going to plate these things ahead of time, and I can just kind of pass these as hors d'oeuvres and get to talk to the community a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, and have more focus on that, as opposed to plating the food while I'm trying to, explain the stories of the hotel and the history and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which, hey, is fun. Our hotel kind of gives that vibe of, the real home style, face to face, side of hospitality, but I want to have it done a little easier on myself this year.
Yeah. Well, so you're saying at Pin and Flour, if I will go to Pin and Flour, I can go to you while you're on the front line and talk to you about while you're cooking on the front line, or no? Because that's essentially what it feels like when you're at the Meet the Chefs, or what it felt like last year.
Well, that's what I do every day in my job, actually.
Okay.
So when I'm with cooks and I'm teaching technique, flavor profiles, or why something goes on a plate here as opposed to why you're there, that is essentially the same thing that I would be doing behind the scenes.
Okay.
That I did at Meet the Chef. So, naturally it comes, but it's more of a fun way to do it. It's kind of past hors d'oeuvres look to it. So
yeah, nice. All right. And so you talk about flavor profile trends, right?
Yeah.
What are some trends this year in 2025 of like flavors that you're seeing chefs and restaurants gravitate towards just because they're like in season?
There's a lot of, you got to kind of pick and choose. Umami is going to be one, and the pop, there's like balsamic pearls, lemon pearls, and things that chefs that are out there using to kind of like a gummy blast, but it'll be like wasabi or something like that to kind of spark your palate and accentuate, make it flow a little further and faster than what it typically would.
Okay.
So just on how you design and how minuscule and flavorings you get with gastriques or mousses and things like that, are just going to take you to that next level. So, and just the way that you design it, and I'm doing something a little bit different than how I'm going to execute that.
Okay.
One with flavor, one with color. So it's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oceanic is going to be the theme. I'll say that.
Oceanic. Nice. Well, then I'm thinking seafood too. Yeah. So, which is always great too. Last year, seafood definitely advanced the chef to the finals. So Chef Anthony. So it's probably not a bad strategy as well. That's what's so beautiful about Meet the Chef too, because it is culinary arts at its finest. I mean, yeah, you want something that tastes delicious, but you are creating essentially like a portrait.
Yeah, it's
right
a visual
100%
as well.
All the senses you have to try to hit. Yeah,
and there's a lot of it behind it with culinary. The visual appeal towards it, how it tastes. It's what's being said around you about the food. I mean, all the five senses come into play with food.
Yeah.
So another thing I like to ask people, especially and this is an interview thing. What was something from your childhood of food that you always go back to? And that's the training of the palate. You teach your kids to walk, you teach them how to read these certain things, but do we teach them how to use their palate?
Right.
And smell is one of those senses that always brings you back to everything and is more romantic than anything else. So, you kind of want to use that to your advantage in your cooking. So,
well, then let me ask you this: at Pin and Flour, which of your dish is most reminiscent of one of my childhood favorites, mac and cheese and hot dogs chopped up in there? Yeah. So is there anything that captures the essence of mac and cheese and chopped up hot dogs?
I would say in the beginning when we first opened, I did have a Sonoran dog and I had fried mac and cheese bites for poolside.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been there. You go. Right there. Well, we're going to talk about Pin and Flour and what you could expect if you go to that fantastic establishment inside the Eddie Hotel right there in Campbell and River. I'm going to do an unboxing of what Chef Logan brought in here, including that macaroon, which I'm already calling dibs on there.
Go for it, man.
But yeah, you can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here on Rock 102.1. Yeah, because I said, and I'm drooling while I'm talking about this, but I said I was going to show you guys, so I'll show you what it looks like here. Ooh, look at that, fancy! I don't want to ruin it. There's probably utensils.
You got
right?
You got to ruin it.
Yeah,
That's what I always say.
Yeah,
I don't want to eat it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I do believe I've packed some utensils there.
Look at that there. You got a little bit of a sweet tooth, a little hungry, like lemon-based stuff?
Not right now, but that does look pretty nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna try this macaroon.
Mint macaroon.
Mint, huh?
Yeah,
that's a cool one. That's a nice idea for a macaroon. Nice and refreshing, but nothing like too much.
I was gonna throw some serrano in it, but I held off. I did do a blue corn mint and serrano pancake that I ran as a special.
That sounds good.
A couple of weeks, and that was pretty fun. That's something that my mom did when I was a kid. So
was that like a breakfast or?
Yeah, it was a breakfast special, but yeah, it was a little bit on the savory side. Not so sweet. So something a little Southwest.
What do you got as a special right now?
Right now I'm doing crab cakes with a basil puree, pan-seared halibut with saffron cream sauce and heirloom cauliflower.
Oh, right.
That's pretty fun. I did that on Easter as well. Those are the two that I have.
Does Hotel Eddie sell day passes for the pool?
That is so I was at a corporate meeting on Monday, and that is something that I tried to force on them to do this summer because
smart.
It's one, there's a lot of the local pools here in town have either shut down and they don't use them anymore, or like the parks at the pools, or like Himmel Park, what do we got to do to get that open?
Right.
And then the swimming pools that are like Reed Park, they're just so congested.
It's
kind of like
I'm not trying to swim in a bunch of kid urine. Yeah, so I want a nice place that has like alcohol options.
Yeah,
while I tan and not necessarily swim, but stand around in water.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you can sit around the water. We have these nice little chairs in the pool where it's just enough water, kind of keep you cool.
See, I fucking love that. Do you have a swim up bar? No swim up bar.
No swim up bar, but it's real close though. It's like 20 feet away. So.
Right.
Okay.
And then you have servers. Yeah.
I mean, the poolside service. I mean, that's one of our things. One of the things that we're doing this summer is a poolside menu.
That's awesome.
So that was one of the things placating into that is that I want to do a poolside menu. Have this poolside fun thing during the summer. These people come hang out the pool, get drinks. That's just revenue that we're going to make.
And
on that part of town, it's people feel comfortable doing it.
Absolutely.
It's a good part of town. You get to oversee the city. And
this summer in particular for me is literally I'm already looking into day passes because I don't have a swimming pool, right? So I want to be able to have some weekends, especially when it's scorching balls, to be able to enjoy.
Saves your life
hang out
sometime,
with
man.
friends. Oh yeah, big time.
What do the passes usually cost around town?
They vary actually. There's a day pass app that my friend Sierra gave me a heads up on, and
See, I didn't even thought about this. I usually just hit the city pools, man.
Yeah, well, and I usually like go to apartment complexes and just jump the goddamn fence. Yeah, or
that's right.
A lot of times they just have them kind of unlocked anyways because if you're living in an apartment, you don't want to keep using your key, so you just kind of shut it gently.
Gently put a rock there. A little bit.
So many times it just opens, so you just walk in like you own the place, and that's basically how I live life. But looking into the day pass thing, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's a good idea because I would like to have some drinks and food and resort living without having to spend like $1,000 to resort live.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh shit. I went to get my location while using good to go. So yeah, day pass is the name of the app here. Right. And right now it's got it pulled up on Cancun and Dubai, but that's not in my budget. Let's see. I gotta go Tucson.
Where you going in the future?
Yeah, no. I want to go to Rocky Point in the future. Right now, day pass isn't really helping me out, unfortunately.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So
but there is apps for it, and then you could also Google it. So like I've searched. I've already kind of like put in a little bit of the research of like where we're going to go. So Eddie Hotel, which I've checked out online. I haven't stayed there yet, right? But obviously it's beautiful. It's renovated. It's kind of like it has that.
No, we've only been open 3 years.
Yeah. And so, but was it built from scratch? Because it seemed like it was one of those like older properties that they kind of.
No, it was
nothing there.
dirt.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay.
And we got kicked back from the neighborhood. They wanted to do it a 4-story hotel with a rooftop bar. Would be nice.
Yeah.
But there's a neighborhood back there, and they city zoning things like that.
God, that would have been beautiful though. Yeah, you're right.
Impressive.
Because where that is located too, you oversee the entire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it would have been amazing. Where you could look at the mountains, where you could look at the downtown thing. But still. Yeah, the fact that now they're in year 3, how well do you think the argument for getting day passes went for you?
I believe it went really well. It's when you lay things out on the table that are going to make you money.
Yeah.
It's hard to turn your head and look the other way. It's like, well, why would you not do that?
Right.
Okay, so business travelers, snowbirds are going back up to their first homes up north. Okay, so who do we got left?
Yeah.
Who do we have left?
We have locals. How can we serve the local community and
Back
get them familiar and become regulars of the restaurant here?
I mean, you're just marketing into the people that are just tapped here in town.
Yeah.
Like these people aren't going anywhere. So now
the nice thing about that is I have people coming in from other places too. And at least if I have the chance to go there, check it out for myself. Hey, I got a place I can recommend when you can stay because I don't want you to stay with me.
Exactly.
Right. That too,
yeah, it makes sense all the way around. So, fingers crossed on that. And you let me know if you do get the green light, then email me immediately. And you'll see my I was gonna say fat ass, but I'm working on that too.
You're getting there, man.
Yeah. Well, that's why I can't eat too much of that, right? So I've done not eat anymore, so that's not a sentence, but I am getting ready for a Rocky Point in June, right?
Nice.
So my goal is to try to drop before 2 and fall in love with a couple 50-year-old ladies. We're back on the air. Rock 2.1 KFMA here with Chef Logan from Pin and Flower. We're talking about Pin and Flower is located at Hotel Eddie. Hotel Eddie is one of Tucson's newest resort hotels right there in the heart of Tucson on Campbell and River. A beautiful location. Pin and Flower is located inside a Hotel Eddie, and we were talking about maybe the promise or the potential of day passes for swimming, hotel day passes for the pool. But let's talk about Pin and Flower itself. Again, it's just a restaurant where many of the menu items are all made from scratch with love. You're always introducing new dishes as part of your specials and whatnot. So we'll talk about what do you got on special right now, and what can people expect if they check out Pin and Flower? Because you don't have to stay at the hotel to go to the restaurant.
We are open to the public, definitely. And, our social hour, happy hour from 4 to 6 is out of the ballpark as well. So,
what do they do for happy hour? Like, what are some of the things you offer in ballpark prices?
Our So Taco Tuesday, we have 2 tacos and a Milagro margarita for $7.
Nice.
We
That's
have
a really good
Yeah, dude.
half off Rambauer bottles of wine and a charcuterie board that I do on Wednesdays, and then martinis that matter that we paired with Tito's vodka, and a $2 go back, one to mental health awareness and the community food bank. So martinis that matter on Thursday, and then on Fridays we do our Barrio Burger, where you get a draft Barrio beer for $1 and a cheeseburger for $14. So $15 you're in for a burger on Fridays. So
yeah,
we get good traction on that. A lot of people are coming in. So
$15 is what I pay for a quarter pounder with cheese at McDonald's.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So with the $1 beer, yeah, that's fantastic. So that's just the happy hours. What do you have going on in special right now?
Right now I have a pan-seared halibut with a saffron cream sauce and heirloom cauliflower. Pretty fun, healthy, pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Just something that's light if you're, wanting to just get to bed, nothing overbearing like the short rib mole that's, just going to put you in a food coma.
Yeah.
So, and then we have a crab cake with a basil puree and arugula heirloom cherry tomato salad. So
yeah,
just kind of love, stuff that goes well with the motif of the hotel. So
I'm going to ask you this question because sometimes I'll go to restaurants where I'll no chefs, right? And I'm the type of like a food person who enjoys just like the culinary arts all the way through. I don't have any like allergies or nothing. So usually if I see a friend chef, I'm like, chef, you make me something, right? Like, what would you make yourself, or your highest recommendation? Just make that. Like, I don't even want to order. Just bring out something. And I'm sure if you believe that this is like a fantastic dish, I'm sure I'm going to love it. If I did that at Pin and Flower, what are you bringing out?
I'm bringing you out a Sonoran shrimp scampi with nice Spanish rice and crostinis.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
what makes a Sonoran shrimp scampi different than a regular shrimp scampi?
I am using poblanos, guajillo peppers. I have a spicy compound butter with some of those already like pre-blistered in there.
Yeah.
And then, I'm just reducing that. And I have a Sonoran spice that I blend in-house with, cayenne, white pepper, cumin, some other fun things that I, use in those applications. And then, you usually get it over noodles or, jasmine rice or something like that. So I make a nice Spanish rice with peas, carrots, and, it's a lot of fun. The technique there is you want to heat up your tomato paste and your oregano and really get that kind of hot. And then you fry your rice and then you add your broth in. So yeah.
So, that's a trick and technique you do at home, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you do the tomato paste with the to get the Spanish rice.
Yeah.
You heat that up real good first.
Yep.
Put it in there
right before it burns.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Well, Chef Logan's going to be participating in this year's Meet the Chef event that's happening on May 18th. It's all of Tucson's great chefs, or a lot of the best chefs in Tucson, all vying for the title of Iron Chef, and it's an event for foodies who enjoy to taste delicious cuisines from all these great chefs and artists here. So if you like to go out and try a bunch of different delicious things, and you want to see who our next potential Iron Chef champion may be, our reigning defending, or one of our challengers this year, then you could join us on May 18th and get your ticket information at kfma.com. And of course, if you want to check out Chef Logan's cuisine, you could see the menu of Pin and Flower at Hotel Eddie's website. And it was just hoteleddy.com, and that's EDDY.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah, you damn right I know it. And again, let me know as soon as you get those day passes, because I'll be there.
That email's going over. It.
And of course, Pin and Flower is open to the public, so you do not have to be having a staycation at the Hotel Eddie to go there. But again, look at the entire menu, and it's always changing with as far as specials and the best happy hour in town. So Chef Logan, best of luck going into this year's Meet the Chef. Yeah, I have a lot of faith, and I can't wait to see what you're going to reveal and how you're going to make it a little easier on yourself. But work your way into that Iron Chef finale. We'll see if that happens.
All right. Awesome.
All right, cool. All right, well, we're going to hit the reset on the FM side. I'll wrap things up here on podcast broadcast, but be back with more right after music from Rob Zombie on Rock 102.1 KFMA. I almost started getting like a sugar rush from being so empty stomached and in the macaroon. Right? Yeah, and it was like, woo! Let's stick the landing. All right, let's see. Earlier this morning, let me play a video here. But thanks again, Logan, for coming in, and I'll see you here soon. Let's see which one okay, here we go. Earlier this morning, Emil and I talked about this. What was this? Excellent question. Let's find out. And understandable, but at that time, you kind of sign up for a certain thing. You trade off. You're like, okay, if I'm 72 years old, and I want to have a smoking hot 24-year-old girlfriend, there are certain things that I know that I have to endure to have this agreement.
Right.
One, she's probably after my money because physically I'm 74-year-old.
Absolutely.
Never been fit anyways, and I'm speaking about Belichick, not myself, but it's very similar. Okay. And two, she's probably going to be a little bit crazy, if not a lot bit crazy.
Super hot. So yeah, super crazy.
Yes. Because if she's willing to do these things that I want her to do in the bedroom, she's got to be able to kind of mentally check out. And that's an ability that only the crazy really have. And then three, she might be a raging C. Now, with that, okay, these things should not be surprising to any red-blooded American male. We know the trade-off in these scenarios. If you want the hot, not crazy, then you have to be hot, not crazy too.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you're trading upward and you are not, perceived as hot, and you want a super hot girlfriend, then crazy got to come with it. Especially when there's a large age gap. Now, Megyn Kelly, she went on the record, of course, trying to get clickbait, saying that she thinks Bill Belichick's relationship with Jordan Hudson is elder abuse.
That's stupid.
It is stupid.
It's stupid. Like I would say, they're both adults. This isn't anything new to humans, okay? Like he knows what he's doing. Now, if he's mentally checked out and he's not all there, he's a little gone.
Yeah.
That's a different situation right there. The guy doesn't seem to be like that.
Not only is he not mentally checked out, he has a very high profile and a very lucrative position with the University of South Carolina as their, a football, head. So, I mean, now the University of South Carolina is definitely concerned about, this situationship that he has himself involved in, mainly because the headlines and then what kind of influence Jordan Hudson may have.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Bill Belichick, the coach, has always been very stubborn and stern in what he wants and kind of gets his way on the football field.
It's his own life. It's his private life. He also seems pretty lucid, so leave him alone.
Yeah, but there are other celebrities and analysts that are now stepping in and joining the conversation. Charles Barkley is the latest, who allegedly staged an intervention over concerns about Bill Belichick's relationship with the 24-year-old girlfriend. Friends fear Hudson has too much control over the former Patriots coach. Concerns intensified, of course, after the CBS debacle, right?
Yeah.
Where, Bill Belichick was promoting a new book, and she was trying to redirect questions. Now, Belichick defended her, saying that she was helping manage the interview and keeping it on topic.
Okay.
Right. Now, look, I look at that as two personality traits that are very similar.
Yeah.
People who have a very clear-cut idea of what they want and how they want it. And so, Belichick is controlling by nature, and then he found a woman that is controlling by nature as well. And of course, he's attracted to that.
Yeah.
And of course, it doesn't help that it doesn't hurt that she's 24 and smoking hot.
No.
Now, CBS disputed this, saying there was no prior restrictions on what could be asked. It was just that one little clip, when they talked about the personal life. And it's like, no, you're here to talk about the book.
Exactly.
So let's not talk about us. You're trying to get clickbait and, sensationalize our very, somewhat scandalous relationship just because of the 50-year age gap. And Jordan Hudson, in her defense, probably doesn't want to talk about her granddaddy issues.
Yeah.
But bless her anyways. Bless her heart. Now, the situation did cause tension within Belichick's inner circle, and some close to him are worried about his judgment. Media attention has ramped up due to the age gap and perceived influence. But I say if they were able to survive the Tom Brady roast,
right.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay with a little bit of this scrutiny as well.
Yeah, so we've all had these friends. I don't know. I think most of us have had like a buddy who's dated a pretty bad person. You know what I'm saying? So where you're like, hey, I want to talk to him about this because I'm a friend. Like I'm a good friend. Hey, she's wrong for but at the same time, is it your place to do that? That's where I appreciate Charles Barkley and all these other people come in because they're like maybe legitimate friends worried about him. But you know what? If he's happy, it's his life. And that's what it really matters because he's not going to be here forever. And maybe he just wants to go out
with a bang.
With a bang.
With a literal bang.
Exactly. And
yes.
If he's happy, then what does it matter?
Right. Because I'll tell you what men in his position at his age do that we don't talk about. and that is pay for it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, hell, even the Patriots owner Robert Kraft got busted because he was asking for rub and tugs at the massage parlor, and that became a scandal. Of course, he's so rich, it didn't really hurt him. But the fact is, in this situation, yeah, you could say that Bill Belichick is paying for it with an inheritance, with maybe an allowance or whatever.
Yeah.
He has himself a sugar baby. Now, if you find that immorally wrong, and that's fine with you, but at the end of the day, they are both adults. And if he knows he's on his way out and he worked hard to accumulate all this, and he wants someone to, spend it on while get himself a love drug,
Power
basically. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like seriously, like there's other things to be clutching those pearls about. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? If you're offended because this is morally wrong, buddy, you're probably doing a lot of stuff in your own life that's probably not the greatest. Maybe just shut up.
Yeah, I mean, at that age, it's either get high off the love drug or take Percocets and drink vodka all day.
Yeah.
So, as far as the interventions are concerned, obviously Bill Belichick is a stubborn man. So, if he wants to continue to bang his 24-year-old girlfriend, news alert. He's going to bang his 24-year-old girlfriend.
Good for him.
Yeah, and it's going to be brief. It's going to be weird looking if you were watching, but and it's going to be gross for her. But hey, more power to both of them.
Yeah.
All right, we got more coming up right after music from Filter on Rock 1 2.1. All right, we're back here live on the podcast broadcast, and yes, I did. Well, actually, I didn't see that there was a $250,000 fine. I did see the apology from the coach. $250,000 isn't much for an NFL team, right? That's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, they're like, okay, fine.
Yeah, and I honestly think that's almost insulting to the Sanders family, right? So, like, Deion Sanders is such a hemorrhoid that they're just like, we'll do something that, like, to the common folk, be like, yeah, that's a punishment, but really, it's nothing, guys. You're fine. You could prank that kid. That whole family needed to get their egos checked a little bit.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
The speculation of that too for those Sanders boys were that Deion and them were kind of so entitled going into the NFL draft that it actually scared off every single team, which left them undraftable, even though they are immensely talented. So, and that's what I got from Justin Spears. So trust the source, Yeah. All right, we're gonna get on with headlines here in a little bit, and we're going through the all the day pass shit, which Emil never heard of before either. So, and then I'm talking about with having small children as well, as Emil has a daughter, and another one on the way, but it's for kids. I wish I knew this when I had my daughter, when my daughter was younger, right? Because there's places, especially up in Phoenix, but say the Star Pass?
Star Pass, yeah.
Yeah, there's resorts that literally have water parks at the resort.
It's like a 230-foot water slide. That's crazy.
Yes, dude. They're awesome. Got lazy river. And you think, I got to spend $500 just to stay there to do that. But it's like, no, actually, you could just buy a pass. Now, in Tucson, what's so important about this is that we don't have any water parks down here.
No.
Right? So we do, if you count the resorts. And if you look at the day pass rates, it is comparable to that of water parks up in Phoenix.
Right.
Especially if you include gas travel and stuff like that.
The nice thing is you also don't have to stand in lines at water parks up in Phoenix when you're doing it this route. You're actually just going to it.
Yeah, you're going to it. Yes. And then the lines are very minimal, right? Yeah. So that's for families, right? You could think of a place like Star Pass, but then there's also hotel pools that are just great for day drinking with friends, right? Yeah. Where you could rent cabanas, and a good cheap one that I'm probably going to go to a couple times this summer, be honest with you, is the Tucson.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yes.
I was looking at the McCoy right now, but I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Tucson has a great restaurant, great food. I stayed there once, a little vacation, if you will. That was very nice. And I was looking at the pool, being like, it'd be so fun. Just invite some friends out. I think it's $40.
It's not so bad.
No, not at all.
For all day, too.
All day.
Yeah.
All day. Go out there, get a tan. You're obviously drinking, getting service the entire time. You can eat, grab a drink, and yeah, it's golden. All right, let's get on the air here. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA, that's the White Stripes. We are back here live on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, because you might want to see this den of rattlesnakes that will haunt your nightmares. All right, so this is a live stream that is actually happening. I got a news report that I'll share with you, but let's see. Is this the most rattlesnakes you've seen in one place, Emil? You grew up in Bisbee, right?
Yeah, I used to play with rattlesnakes. It was always fun.
You used to play with rattlesnakes?
Yeah, we'd go out to either there was an area out in the desert that'll people would dump their cars way back in the day. We go like just check out these old cars and stuff, and there was always rattlers. Same with the golf course, just pull them off and stuff. But even up here, just pull them off the loop.
Man, hardcore desert kids.
Come on, man.
Yeah, let's see this news report. So there's a live rattlesnake den that you could live stream and watch all the chicks out.
The infamous rattlesnake mega den is active.
It's a mega den.
Mega den.
Snakes have emerged from the mega den located on an undisclosed private property in northern Colorado, and it's live streamed 24/7. The video was recorded on Thursday. You can see of them slithering around. Last year, 2.5 million people watched this stream. It's all part of a research project by California Polytechnic State University. By the end of next month, hundreds of snakes will emerge. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Yep. That's rattlecam.org is the name of that website that we're going to pull up here shortly. Trust me. when we get into our commercial break, guess what website I'm pulling up immediately. I want to see that mega den that's happening there. All right. A lot of the things happen in the world of news and stuff, but we don't have time to go down the rabbit hole on everything. But, we do have enough time to give you just the headlines, and that's what this is. So let's get into our top headlines today. First headline, once again, all right, this is just a reminder because Mother's Day is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome. I know. But because you have a wife that is a mother and working on a second one. So do you know what the ultimate thing to give her is?
What's that?
A nap.
Oh, dude.
Yes, let her nap. Most moms just want to relax for Mother's Day. 60% of moms said they'd trade Mother's Day gifts for a chance to take a nap. So, especially with a pregnant wife, if you make the plan saying, hey, today is all about you relaxing, right? All you have to do is lay back, relax. I'm going to deal with our daughter. We're going to do a daddy-daughter day, and we're just, we'll be out of your hair, out of your way. You want to hang out, whatever. You do that, but rest up. Enjoy, catch up on all the garbage TV I refuse to watch with you.
Exactly.
Whatever you want. To get some DoorDash,
Yeah, just have your best day right now.
Have your best day. And if your best day doesn't involve me, that's an issue. We'll address that another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
After Mother's Day.
Today, you enjoy
And I'm going to remember that for Father's Day, okay?
Yeah, well, I mean, the flip side for Father's Day, it's always the same thing. That's the ultimate gift for Father's
just
Day.
Leave me the F alone.
Well, that and mouth hugs. All right, so there's this guy needed a good getaway driver. There's still bank robbers in 2025.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, I guess.
We were talking with filmmakers Jimmy Dixon, not Jimmy Dixon. Jimmy was his name, and spaced on names. They were just here the other day. We're talking about Choir Practice, the movie, and we talked about bank robbers and the pattern of bank robbers here. We did this off the air, but the fact that they still do bank robberies to this day, and you're not necessarily getting like a good payoff anymore. In fact, you might get a few $100s, maybe a few thousand, and you're definitely going to get a die pack.
Yeah, they've gotten smart about it, obviously, over the decades.
Right. So it doesn't seem like the risk is worth the reward, especially if you're going to be dumb and get caught. A bank robber was caught because he ran a red light, which, made sense. He was getting away, but the camera caught him and caught the license plate of his rental car, which he rented under his own phone number.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, so didn't think everything through. You got to watch out for that. This next headline is a reminder that, you don't necessarily have to be extremely good looking to get with and have the most beautiful woman in the world fall in love with you. Okay. But you do have to be extremely talented.
Yeah.
But the problem with being extremely talented is usually there's some demons that are kind of haunting you and pushing you to drive to be that extremely talented. So you could ruin all these things in life. Yeah. And I'm talking about Christie Brinkley.
Okay.
And Billy Joel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Now, Billy Joel, of course, he's like 5'5".
Yeah, you look
average at best, dude. But one of the greatest musicians of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I saw him like a decade ago, and he was killing it, and he was super funny too. But you could tell he was kind of worn down, haggard, and he lived a rough life. See, now Christie Brinkley has recently released a memoir, and she hesitated to include stories of Billy Joel's drinking problems in her new memoir.
Okay.
Yeah, she said it was a quote. It demonstrates what I was up against. I was 100% dedicated to Billy, but I never told anyone about our issues, not even my friends. That's how much she was a ride or die for Billy Joel and how much she loved Billy Joel. Look at pictures. Here's your homework for today. Google pictures of Billy Joel today And Christie Brinkley today.
I'm already looking at Christie Brinkley today.
Christie Brinkley today looks like Christie Brinkley from 1984.
She's pulling off pretty well, man.
She's
looking
gorgeous.
good.
For a 70-year-old, are
Yeah,
you
right.
kidding me? She looks 45. And a peak 45. A soccer mom, trophy wife 45. And Billy Joel looks like Darth Vader without his helmet on.
Oh yeah, he does. Oh, poor dude.
I know. Trust me. Don't worry. I'm gonna end up looking like Billy Joel. I know it, dude. He looks like my grandfather. But the fact of the matter is, like his alcoholism is what
Takes that
drove the
toll.
wedge between them
Yeah.
and led her to leave. He could, obviously in this situation, fairy tale ending could have had it all.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you don't get much better than Christie Brinkley. In many situations, you go down the list.
Yeah.
You're like, and I'm not even just talking about physically. She seems like a sweet person.
Totally.
Yeah, and a good mom too. So, but yeah, it goes to show to get that immense talent of a Billy Joel to be a fantastic musician, singer, songwriter, something still inside you that's tearing you apart.
You need that negative fire to build off of.
I know.
Essentially.
Yeah, but and the demons of addiction. And
Yeah.
so I mean, we're lucky he's still alive. For sure, but it's not without sacrifice. All right, and final headline of the day. A poll looked at swear words British people find most offensive,
Okay.
which I
Interesting.
thought, right off the bat, I'm like, you guys swear like
You guys
on the
use
nightly news.
Yeah, you guys use that T word like it's like every other sentence, and it's like
Yeah.
I wish I could use that all the time.
So, I was surprised that they would find two of these words offensive, but the third word I was surprised was even a curse word that I might have to even use. Okay. So this is what British people find most offensive, according to a recent poll, as far as swear words are concerned. Of course, the C word is number one, which is odd because they use it for everything.
Everything.
Yeah. They call their cheeseburgers a C word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
It's pretty funny, actually, how much they use it.
yeah. And they will call their own mother a C word in passing and not even mean it in malice. It's a term of endearment.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's offensive to some British people. Number 2 was effer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But number 3, and tell me if you ever heard this, effer. Father effer. So that was third place. Father effer was the third most offensive swear word according to British people.
I guess I could see that. I've never heard it though.
I know.
It's like maybe a fresh one.
We're always effing mothers, but no one effs a father.
Yeah, I know. Equality, right?
Yeah, dude.
Bringing it up.
They've been equal for a long time, apparently. So now you have it. And there's a new swear word to load up in your arsenal.
I know. Yes, finally, because I got so sick of all the other ones. I used them all up, so I needed something fresh.
Yeah, we're going to use some of those on the podcast broadcast stream exclusively on youtube.com/beefvegan. Be back with your beef tip after these words. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Fatherfucker. It doesn't roll off. Right? It doesn't roll off.
It's not that phonetically pleasing. The motherfucker. Yeah. Especially with like Sam Jackson doing it so much. Motherfucker. It's fatherfucker. You're using too much of the tongue.
Yeah. It's something you don't want to say with a lisp. Like a Daffy Duck couldn't do a fatherfucker.
Yeah, fatherfucker. I feel like you'd say that to me, and I'd be like, what?
Well, I mean, if I say it to you, it's a good burn, though. Yeah. But like, you're a fatherfucker.
It is, technically.
No, I fuck mothers.
No, I'm only at the motherfuckers. But yeah, the other, see, I figured like, because they use twat.
Oh, that's what you said, T-word. I was thinking tit, dude, but okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Twat, that's like another one that's like in every sentence, and it's just like it's so funny because I think they even say it on their television too. But I mean, they have nudity on television all the time.
Yeah, they don't really believe in
covering into that
at all. Yeah, at all. All right, let's look at Sleeping Rattlesnake. So I guess it's not as exciting as I thought it would be.
It's so funny. Sleeping Rattlesnake still looks so pissed off.
Oh, it's moving around. That's cool. So this is the live stream. Let's see what it sounds like. Nothing. No audio.
All these motherfucking snakes.
These fatherfucking snakes on this fatherfucking plane, dude. See, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But so this is the rattlesnake den. Over 200 live rattlesnakes just chilling. That one looks pretty cool. It's weird though. It's like same location. They say 200. I only see 4.
Is that 3-4 of them there? Yeah.
They're big boys for sure. But it almost looks like the exact same footage that the news camera had a little bit ago.
And it is live, right?
It is live. Yeah, this is live rattlesnakes right now. Rock 1 2x1. Who's this?
Yo, it's Nick.
What up?
Hey, so we went on a hike and we saw a rattlesnake, and when we left the park, because we were over at Painted Hills off of Speedway
Uh-huh.
and Star Path area,
Right.
Austin sat there and gave my best friend, as we were leaving, we were turning to Burger King, Austin gave him the middle fingers.
He gave your best friend the middle fingers?
Oh, yeah.
All right, as a joke, or is he just being a jerk?
Well, that's 50-50. I think it was him being a jerk.
Okay. So, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds like more and more you keep coming in with stories for Austin's his son. That you continue to have your hands full. Has he been at least behaving a little better? I mean, well, this is not conversation for the stream, Nick. I don't know if you want to out all your
your dirty laundry right here.
It's not even dirty laundry, but yeah, like fatherly.
No, not dirty laundry. No.
Yeah.
No, it was as I would have to say as a joke, and he's never done it. When my best friend Josh pulled up beside us, he sat there and was like, "Dad, look," and he was like, right up, 12 o'clock on the other hand. I'm like, dude.
That's hilarious, actually. No, that's hilarious. Yeah. So I approve. I mean, that's what boys do. Like boys, like say, if I saw Emil like driving beside me, I'm not gonna wave like, hey. I might be like, fuck you, man. Good to see you.
Like,
yeah. And he wouldn't even take offense to that because we're like, that's how we show love, dude.
Yeah, just do it back. Probably chuckle about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as like touching tips. It's our metaphorical touching tips. We wouldn't physically touch tips.
No.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that, Nick. But yeah, but you saw a rattlesnake somehow. Like that's what brought up this memory, right?
Because we're the Painted Hills. It's a 4.5-mile hike going around, and he's like, "Oh, look, there's this. Hey, is that supposed to be rattling?" And I'm like, I look down, I'm like, Jesus, it's a snake, dude. Stand back.
Yeah. Was it a rattler? It probably is. It's a season.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been showing a lot of pictures and stuff. We talked about it. In fact, actually, I'm not allowed to talk about it on the air because Kendall wanted to bring it up as a segment, and I kind of poo-pooed her.
Oh.
And then if I mention anything snake related, like if she's watching this,
you're like I told you.
Yeah, she'll bring it up. And
like,
yeah, I can't talk about snakes, but all of a sudden you're the snake expert. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. So yeah, no more. I can't talk about snakes no more here, Nick. I probably got myself in trouble just talking about that damn rattlesnake.
And that little bit right there.
Yeah.
You probably did.
Yeah. See if I got a text message.
Okay, you can sit there and say it was a trouser snake.
I could say that. Yeah, I don't want to scare her away too soon, though. You know what I mean? You kind of weigh in.
I know. I'm just goofing off, buddy.
All right, yeah, I appreciate it. Raymond Ray says, "Have you seen Billy and Christie's daughter?" I have. She was a musician for quite some time. Oh, thanks for the call, Nick. I appreciate you. Later, brother. I have, and she, I actually, she looks like Billy. She is a talented musician. But at the same time, I kind of had a little crush on her for a minute because she seemed to like a girl in real life that I could potentially, I would have a chance with.
Possibly.
Yeah, because she does look so much like Billy. She looks more like Billy than she looks like Chris.
She does.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah,
it's the eyes, dude.
It totally is. It's like that, the nose, eyes area. It's.
She had a little plastic surgery as well.
Yeah.
And so when she initially, she became an adult, probably. I mean, what is she now? She's probably in her 30s, mid 30s.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, let's you can pull up an exact, because I think I was crushing on her when she was like 21, 22, because she was trying to be a musician, and it was in the realm of stuff I would play on KWSS. So I'm sure we talked about her a bunch.
38.
Yeah, so she's in the wheelhouse and all that stuff. So I was about it, but I don't think I would be able to do that in real life because her eyes are so reminiscent of her dad's.
But then you look at the other sister. Woo.
Oh, okay. So they have a hot sister?
Yeah, they have a hot sister.
Well, let's be honest.
Yeah. And then there's the other one that she's a model, and she looks like her mom. It's funny how that works.
Taylor Joel?
Sailor Brinkley Cook.
Sailor.
I guess it's maybe from another dad.
Yes, it is.
Another dad. Okay.
It is, and that's why. So
Gotcha.
here's what happened. Because if you remember, Christie Brinkley, she married a rich guy. He died in a helicopter accident.
Right. Oh, I forgot about that.
She was in that helicopter, I believe. Yes. and she survived. I believe so, and I could be wrong on that. But yeah, so yeah, that's the good genes, right? That's the good-looking entrepreneur genes, because when it comes to business and being successful in business, to be tall and good-looking is definitely a benefit.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the music industry, if you're not a pop star and just overly over-the-top good-looking, you have to be extremely talented. But when you're extremely talented, you don't have to be good-looking, and that's where Billy Joel comes in.
Yeah.
Because again, when Billy Joel, he's short, stout, chubby, Long Island guy, voice of an angel, songbird, and he won over Christie Brinkley with his personality and talent, and God bless him. And then he kind of chased her away, which that happens to the best of us, right?
Yeah.
Our own demons and insecurities, like can't
He's
even
an artist.
Yeah, exactly. And he will go down in history as one of the greatest for sure. And he's hilarious, very self-deprecating in his live shows.
You got to be, though, especially to be an artist, or else, come on.
Yeah. So, of course, Christie Brinkley's other daughter for sure is going to be super fucking hot. But Christie Brinkley, my God.
How do you have a bad baby with that one?
Well,
you're going to have to work really hard. She's got some good genes on that. But,
yes. There was another, was it Christie Brinkley that had her mother-daughter lingerie? No, Heidi Klum. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that was Klum. Huh?
Yeah, which I'm like, that's not Seal's daughter. I'm like, no, that's a different one.
Yeah, that's a different.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Billy. I'm trying to pull up these pictures.
Dang, she does look exactly like Billy Joel in the eyes in some pictures.
Yeah,
which is not like the greatest, because then you're just like,
no, it's not. It's not. That's why she's like, I want to be a musician too. And they looked at Alexa and they're like, you should be.
Yeah, that's her calling. Because I mean, she's not like bad looking, but she has like a unique look that could be, and within the past 10 years has gained a lot of like attraction. Other than that, from that natural beauty of like hot models, with like that perfect asymmetrical like look.
Yes,
you look
asymmetrical.
More, you look more unique. There's a uniqueness about it. It's beautiful. You're not homely. You're just unique.
Yeah, and she's had plenty. She's had a lot of plastic surgery.
Yeah, I'm seeing that right there. That chin, those cheeks, everything.
Yeah, and so now, I mean, she's a Tucson 10 for sure. But in the entertainment world, you're just like, she was unfairly bagged in. But look at it. Here's a picture. The daughters. I wish I could blow this up. Put it on a T-shirt. Let's see. Shit, it only gets smaller.
Try right-clicking it and see if you can open the image.
Okay. Open image, a new tab. Look at that. Yes, you're my technical advisor. Thank God. Okay, look at this. Is a recent thing.
I'd bang all of them.
Yeah.
There's not one bad looking one. Even the Billy Joel girl, she's not so bad looking in that picture. She actually looks pretty great in that picture.
She looks great in that picture. It's Sports Illustrated. Again, plastic surgery. Alexa has come a long way, and Christie Brinkley is so perfect. She could even walk on water.
Yeah.
They
did that on purpose.
Yeah, dude. They're like, come on, man. But yeah, and Christie Brinkley's in her 70s.
Yeah,
this is her. And then smoking hot daughters. One thanks to money and surgery, and the other thanks to genetics.
Yeah.
So you gotta love it. I'm a big fan. Okay, so I don't have enough time for a beef tip to talk about this man who revealed the problems of his hair loss drug that caused problems with his junk, right? But it does remind me of the age-old tale of like making a deal with the devil, right? Like, oh, you want this? You can have this. Something. Yes. Yeah. And so, this is Hims. You've seen
Hims. Yeah.
Hims has, hair program for pills and things like that to regrow your hair. And I see it in my algorithm all the time. And I have a buddy who's been able to regrow his hair.
Yeah.
He didn't tell me about his penis, but I'm assuming it's fine. But in this scenario, there's a guy just kind of like saying, hey, man, I was taking this to grow the hair. And then the symptoms I got from this were really bad, including impotence, fluctuating libido, insomnia, genital changes, and chronic pelvic pain.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sucks. That would probably some fin in it, probably finasteride.
Yeah.
That's that one that'll do it to you, man. And I know it's like a small percentage of people. But But
Yeah.
whew, what a gamble.
Right, yeah. But we're back here on the air, Rock 102.1 KFMA. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have on the FM side, but we've had a good time here on the podcast broadcast. You can watch the entire thing at youtube.com/beefvegan. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Tomorrow morning, we're giving away tickets for Disturbed in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll have Valdez and Yaz Money in studio, and it'll be a good time. Until then, we don't even have enough time for a beef tip there, Emil.
Full of content.
Yeah, full of content.
Overflowing.
Short of time. I also like to thank Chef Logan from Pin and Flour and the Hotel Eddie for coming in. You can check out Chef Logan at the Meet the Chefs event on May 18th. You can get your ticket information at kfma.com and score those tickets today before they sell out so you can grub up and see who Tucson's next Iron Chef is going to be. All right, thank you guys so much for listening to the show. Be back tomorrow morning. Rob Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. Peace out, everybody. Thank you for not minding us thirsting over the Brinkley daughters. The Brinkleys in general.
Yeah. Good for them for looking so good.
Yeah, good for them. Hey, Alexa, I got talent and personality. What's up?